Of trying to do this video because I've been fucking up. I haven't really done much of videos like this or streams like this with a mic, and I keep fucking up my words, keep fucking up like the stream. So we're gonna try this again. Welcome to a new video. I haven't done a video on YouTube in quite a couple months. I preferably have done reaction videos to, wrestling, WWE, AEW. But over the past about year or so, maybe going on to 2 years now, I've been slowly, putting more football onto the channel, which obviously if you support football and you like wrestling, cool, two good things. But I've been moving towards football because there's a lot of times I'm not able to get a reaction video out for live on Raw, live on SmackDown, and pay-per-views, because I'm busy. I got shit to do, and unfortunately I can't always do a live reaction like I used to, which sucks. But the football content's been able to, I haven't posted in quite a while, but the football content's helped me keep at least a couple videos on the channel over the past few months. And I'm a huge Giants fan, so I would like to do a record prediction, since I believe I have not done that yet on the channel. And I started this channel when I was in high school, and I barely have done any Giants prediction videos, and I'm excited for the season. I know we may or may not be good, which the record prediction would probably show later on. But I'm excited. When we added in the draft, we added Abdul Carter into the pass rush. Kayvon's been a little bit disappointing, also injured here and there. And Brian Burns, he's been consistent with his production on the pass rush and in the run game, and he was banged up a lot last season, and he played through the injuries. With Abdul Carter, I love what we're going to get, another pass rusher. I believe, we've seen the leaked video of Carter, Kayvon, and Burns on this field at the same time, which makes me excited. I also believe they're going to move Carter to be a little bit of an inside linebacker a little bit. But, we've added a lot we've upgraded a lot during the summer. We've added Jameis Winston at quarterback, Russell Wilson at quarterback, Jackson Dart at quarterback we drafted. I honestly was I excited for the Dart pick? No. But was I mad about the Dart pick? No. I was just we're actually going to pick Jackson Dart. And as time moved on, I'm excited for Dart. Sitting on the bench, if it doesn't work out, so be it. He's a first-round pick, but it's not like we picked him 3rd overall. We picked him 25th overall. And then we drafted Darius Alexander to be, an interior defensive lineman, D-tackle, which I love. We needed more interior depth to help Dexter Lawrence out. He's better of a pass rusher, but hopefully with his presence, we can give Dex a little bit of a break here and there, and hopefully help out in the run game, which we really fucking need it, because our team has been rough. We re-signed Aaron Stinney, we re-signed Deontay Johnson, we signed Jordan Humphrey, we re-signed Greg Van Roten, we signed some depth here and there. Paulson Adebo, Javon Holland, go Wandale. Paulson Adebo and Javon Holland to overturn the defensive back unit. The cornerback, the DB room, which we need because Deontay and Banks struggled mightily last season to be a cornerback 1. And it's okay if he struggles to be a cornerback 1, because he's more of a cornerback 2, which is okay, because we need Paulson Adebo's going to be that cornerback 1. Has he reached his peak? He's been a good player, but he still can get better. He's a huge turnover-worthy guy. He can force turnovers, but he also can, causes quite a bit of penalties here and there. But you're going to get that out of an aggressive corner like Paulson Adebo. Javon Holland, I like the pick. Is he Xavier McKinney? No, but honestly, Holland is still pretty good. Darius Slayton re-signed, which I was stunned, and he's been a consistent 500 to 700 yard receiver. And it's only getting paid $13 million a year, which is not a big deal. Nice pass to Neighbors. Chauncey Golston adds to the depth in the defensive line. I love James Hudson. I wasn't a fan of. And then Cam Scouttabo drafted. I love that pick. Marcus Embo, love that pick. You know, I love the moves that we made in the draft, free agency. Obviously, I'm going to be, I mean, a lot of times Giants fans or fans of their team say that. They're going to be happy for what they done and picked and whatever. But anyways, I've been rambling on for about 12 minutes. Here are my Giants record predictions. Week 1 at the Commanders. The Commanders, I mean, they didn't do much in free agency. They added Debo. They added Josh Connerly, Javon Kinlaw, Trey Amos. I love that pick. Trey Amos is going to be a steal for the Commanders, which I hate that he's on the Commanders. But I have an upset with the Giants beating the Commanders here. I trust our defensive line and our pass rush to go up against this Commanders offensive line because, you know, it's week 1. Week 1, you see a bunch of upsets and a bunch of, you know, wins that you won't see happening for certain teams. Like, what was it, the other year, the Patriots beat the fucking Bengals, or the Jaguars beat the Colts recently, like a couple years ago. The Jaguars went 1-16 and their only win was week 1. Like, shit's insane. But I have us beating the Commanders. I do believe we're going to sweep the Commanders. So obviously later on I would say my other prediction for the game. But in week 1, I believe in our pass rush. Deonte Banks. If you can't lock up Debo in 2025, we got some serious problems. The Commanders' offense is electric, to say the least. Their offense, because Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin, who's honestly skipping mandatory minicamp, looking for a contract extension. I believe he'll still be on the team. But if he's not on the team, the Giants are winning 100%. But he will be on the team. But I think this will be a close game. Russ' first game as a Giant. I believe in, you know, a huge upset here in week 1 against the Commanders. Commanders defense, Dan Quinn's a good defensive coordinator. You know, he's obviously the head coach. He's a good defensive mind. You know, he gets the best out of his defensive players. But I believe, you know, week 1 will be our, you know, it'll be ours. It'll be our game. I hope to God. Week 2 at Dallas. First off, I'm about to fuck Dak Prescott. I mean, seriously, we haven't beaten Dak since 2016. I was in middle school. I am 22. We have not beat Dak since 2016. Let that sink in. We're pushing over almost 10 years, a decade since we last beat Dak and the Cowboys. We beat them with Andy Dalton. Does that count? Yes, but we need to beat Dak Prescott. The Cowboys, their draft has been, they had an interesting draft. They drafted Tyler Booker. Yeah, Booker. I'm sorry, because they got Tyler Smith, Tyler Guyton, now Tyler Booker on the offensive line. They have redrafted the offensive line to go younger. The Great Wall of Tyler. And honestly, Tyler Booker pick was a reach, but I believe Tyler Booker would be a fine pick for the Cowboys. Unfortunately, they drafted the cornerback from Eastern Carolina. They got some pass rush. And the Cowboys, I wish I could predict us going 2-0, but I can't. I can't do that until we actually beat Dak Prescott with my own eyes. So I got the Cowboys winning because, I mean, every time we go against the Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb just fucking cooks us. Micah Parsons goes fucking insane. He literally turns to the prime LT. And Dak Prescott, I mean, Dak is at his best when he goes against the Giants, the Commanders, the Eagles. Like, his record against the NFC East is insane. And I got the Cowboys winning. Their offense has not, their run game I'm not worried about because, you know, they got Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams, and then Jaden Blue from the University of Texas, their 4th or 5th round rookie. I'm not worried about their running back room as of right now. Their defense, obviously, Trevon Diggs, Bland, in the defensive back room. Like, Cowboys, do I believe we can split with the Cowboys? I don't think so, unfortunately. I don't trust this team. But now with the addition of George Pickens, Jalen Tolbert as now Turpin as wide receiver 3, Jake Ferguson, he always does a decent job against us. What's his name? Donovan. I just had to look up the defensive end for Boston College. They drafted him. They signed a bunch of guys, and honestly, I believe the Cowboys are going to beat us in week 2. It'll be, damn, nice pass. It'll be a loss against the Dallas Cowboys, unfortunately. Oh, man. And then week 3, we play on Sunday Night Football, which I love Sunday Night Football, but not for the Giants. Like, not for us. I hate it for us. Because every time we're on primetime, we fucking lose. We don't win in primetime. And not only we don't win in primetime, we're definitely not winning against the fucking Chiefs. I mean, come on. The Chiefs are going to win. I have no doubt in my mind. Their offensive line, their tackle situation has been a struggle, but their interior has been pretty good. But they just did trade Joe Thuney away to the Chicago Bears, which honestly, good move for Chicago. I believe he should have stayed with the Chiefs, should have kept Joe Thuney, but I understand you want to give a contract extension to Trey Smith. You know, you drafted a tackle from, which tackle? They didn't draft the Oregon. That's Josh Connerly. They drafted the, what was it, I think it was the Ohio State tackle. Don't quote me on that. I should probably look that up. What the fuck is his name? Josh Simmons, you're right. And they're going to get back a healthy Hollywood Brown. Rashee Rice is probably not going to be suspended because the NFL loves the Kansas City Chiefs. Xavier Worthy is going to have a year 2 breakout. They got a lot of speed on that offense. Travis Kelce in the last year of his career. And the Chiefs defense, you know, when you go against one of the best defensive coordinators in the league with Spags, you know, former Giants legend, Spags, gotta love it. But with their defensive talent with Trent McDuffie, you know, Chris Jones, they drafted a safety last year. I'm pretty sure he's gonna get the start. Hicks, what's his last name? First name. Mike Edwards. They got Jaden Hicks. I believe he'll get some playing time. Darius Rush, you know, depth and defensive corner. Drew Tranquil, I know that one. And Nick Bolton. Oh, Nick Bolton's still on the team. I thought Nick Bolton left. That might have been the other linebacker that went to the Broncos or some other team. I forgot in free agency. Remember, free agency happened over 3 months ago. I forget about these things after a while. But the Chiefs, I believe the Chiefs will win here. I don't think it will be a high-scoring game on Sunday Night Football. It'll probably like a 21-17 type game. And Commanders, I forgot to give the Commanders and Cowboys score prediction. I'll go 24-20 Giants and then 27-17 Cowboys. And then, so we are now going to be going into 1-2, heading into week 4 against the Chargers, where, call me crazy, I think we win. The Chargers are an interesting team. Harbaugh, let me get this straight. Justin Herbert, amazing quarterback. Drafted Trey Harris, Vlad McConkey, Joe Alt, Rashawn Slater. They did a good job with they're building something on the offensive side of the football with a draft, and they've done a pretty good job. They brought in Najee Harris, who sucks, but that's my opinion. Amarian Hampton, I like the pick. They brought back Mike Williams. You know, he's probably going to be your third, fourth wide receiver, which isn't a big deal. Mekhi Becton, they brought in. Junior Colson's going to be back. You know, was his second year? He was drafted from Michigan. I remember he was a fourth or third round pick. Khalil Mack, Dante Jackson, Derwin James, Cam Hart, Tony Jefferson. They drafted Kyle Kennard, because I'm a Gamecocks fan. So be surprised. I don't give a fuck. Kyle Kennard, great fucking pick in the it was the third or fourth. Whatever round they got him, great fucking value, and he's going to be producing pretty well for them. But I got us beating the Chargers. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I think a 17-16 game because, it's John Harbaugh. And Greg Roman infamously loves to run the football like crazy. Like, he's never had a 4,000-yard passer as an offensive coordinator. Maybe Justin Herbert can break that. I hope so, but obviously you got to see it to believe it. So I believe the Giants will beat the Chargers, and we will be 2-2. And now it sounds delusional, but against the Saints, I obviously have us beating the Saints. Saints, I think they're gonna have the worst record in the league next year. You know, you're gonna have Tyler Show, Spencer Rattler, Chris Olave. You can't, like, you know, his concussions. Like, how healthy will he be? You got drafted Kelvin Banks on the offensive line. I just don't like the Saints team. They need to tear everything down, in which they kind of have, but like get all rid of the old players, restart fresh. I have no faith in the Saints to win this game. If they do, then we still have a serious problem with this team if the Saints beat us with Tyler Show. So we're 3-2. Who the fuck would have thought? That changes on Thursday Night Football against the Eagles, where we lose to Philly. I want us to beat the Eagles, I really do, but I mean, I hate the fucking Eagles, but their offense is so good. The Saquon, all-pro offensive linemen, what do they have? 4 Pro Bowl offensive linemen, first-team All-Pro, Lane Johnson, their center Cam, I forget, Jurgensen. That's his last name, Jurgensen. Jalen Hurts, I hate. I mean, I think he's overrated, my opinion, whatever. Saquon, you know who Saquon is. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Leonard Dickerson. Traded for Kenyon Green, who's been terrible, but knowing the Eagles, they're going to make him into a fucking superstar guard like they did Mekhi Becton. And I have us losing that game 28-14. So now we're 3-3. We're going against the Broncos week 7 at Broncos. I have us losing against the Broncos. I'm really high on the Broncos this year. Maybe delusion, but they crushed it in free agency. They crushed it in the draft. They did draft Pat Bryant, receiver. And they drafted the running back. I forgot his name. R.J. Harvey. They did draft him. They just brought in J.K. Dobbins, which is a good pickup. But I just don't have this Broncos defense was number 1 last year, or number 2. They were one of the top defenses last year. And Russell Wilson's not going to get his revenge this game. I should have mentioned Russ is still the starter at this point, because obviously we're doing not too bad. But Pat Surtain and Jahad Barron as your defensive backs, and then Riley Moss, and then I really like this Broncos defense, and I trust Sean Payton's offense because Sean Payton is a top-tier head coach. We've seen him, what he's done before. So I got us losing to the Broncos, probably a 20-14 game. So next week, against the Eagles again. So we're going to go against the Eagles in 2 out of 3 weeks. I have another loss here. I mean, as simple as that. I just don't have faith in this team. I feel like we're another year away to actually being more competitive with the Eagles. I mean, we got blown out by their backups. We got blown out by their starters. It's just a confidence thing. I don't believe we're ready to compete with Philly. And Philly, I mean, obviously, they just won a Super Bowl. Don't be surprised that we can't compete with them. But it is what it is. Philly beats us like 20, they beat us by like 2-3 scores. No big deal. I mean, obviously, big deal sucks, but it's whatever. Week 9 against the 49ers. This 49ers team is an interesting team, to say the least. They lost a lot of players, and they did not draft well. And it's Kyle Shanahan. But I'm going to upset the 49ers. We beat the 49ers. They have one of the easiest schedules in the league, and they probably think we're probably the easiest win on their schedule. But I think we can beat the 49ers. I trust in the offense. I trust in the defense. You know, they have... I mean, I'm going to be honest here. I don't watch a lot of 49ers games, so I couldn't tell you who's, this season, who's going to be their starters, because they lost a lot of people. Brock Purdy got paid. You know, you had... on your offense, Ricky Parasol, Dron Jennings, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, their offense is intact, but besides Trent Williams, their offensive line is not good. So I trust the pass rush. And then, obviously, with Nick Bosa, and that defensive line, they're always gonna be good against us. Russell Wilson, ooh, damn, sacked. But I have us upsetting the 49ers. So right now we're 4-5. Week 10 against the Bears. I'm really high on the Bears. Chicago did so much. Am I overhyping the Bears like we always do these past 4 years? Yes, but I can't see us beating the Bears when they upgraded at everything. If you look at their receiver room, at their offensive line, defensive line, their DB room, their linebackers, the Chicago team is should make the playoffs. Will they make the playoffs? Who knows? Because their division is tough. But with Caleb Williams, I have faith in Caleb Williams. What I seen at Oklahoma and what I seen at USC, I'm not gonna act like he's gonna be a bum in the NFL. And honestly, his offense last year, when you have Shane Waldron as your offensive coordinator, you're not meant to succeed. I mean, look what JSN said about Shane Waldron, and then Caleb had to deal with that his first year as a rookie quarterback. So it's really. But with Ben Johnson calling the plays and Dennis Allen being their DC, which is a good DC, by the way. Dennis Allen sucks as head coach, but DC is a good pick. I got the Bears winning this game. I think their offensive line can match up with our defensive line. And then obviously you got to put faith in our defense and DBs and in our offense. And I like our offense, but I think the Bears are going to beat us here. At Packers, I think the Packers are going to beat us. Packers... Oh, shit. Oh, accidentally hit my mic. But the Packers have always been consistently a good team every single year. Nothing has changed. And have they done a lot this offseason? No, they have not. But it's the Packers. Matt LaFleur is their head coach. Their defense is okay. They're solid. Their offense, they're always going to be a top 10, 15 offense regardless of who they have out there at receiver. They got got names out there. Donovan Wicks, Matthew Golden now as receiver. Christian Watson, who's always hurt. Dobbs. Jaden Reed. They got guys. Their offensive line is okay. Solid. But I think the Packers are going to win. They always are consistent. Winning, and the Packers, I just think they're gonna win. I mean, I'm not gonna try to be delusional and biased against my team. I mean, because honestly, a lot of people who aren't Giants fans, they probably have us winning fucking nothing, which I don't blame them, but it is what it is. Sorry for a lot of rambling. I wish I could go in more and more detail, but I don't want to be here for 2 hours. We're already here for 30 minutes, so I got to get more coming here out in this. So against the Lions, they lost both their offensive and defensive coordinators. Obviously, Ben went to the Bears. Aaron Glenn went to the Jets. Frank Ragnow retired, which is surprising. So Dexter Lawrence will feast on the interior of that offensive line. So right now, 3, 4. Do I want to be delusional? Do I want to be delusional? You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to be delusional. We're going to beat the Lions. I think the Lions, they're going to be a good team, but they're going to take a step back. Losing both their coordinators, I don't like. And then losing Frank Ragnow on that offensive line is not good. Because if Jared Goff gets pressured, he makes a lot of dumb decisions. And Jared Goff turns into Jared Goof. That's why Sean McVay traded away Jared Goff. But I think Jared Goff's a good quarterback. But obviously when he faces pressure, he's not the best when he faces pressure. And defensively, they got DJ Reed. They brought him in. Aiden Hutchinson hopefully will be back to full health. Hopefully nothing bad will happen to him. Nothing more injuries. Hopefully he can stay healthy for the time being. So I got us upsetting the Lions. Patriots, Monday Night Football. I feel like they're going to flex this game. I don't see why they won't keep this. But if they do, I mean, who cares? We got a primetime game, but I hate Monday Night Football. It's no big deal. I got us beating the Patriots. Look, the Patriots drafted a lot of offense this past draft, and they signed a lot of defense. But they really don't have much for Drake May. That offensive line is not good. Yes, they drafted Will Campbell, But Will Campbell, Mike, Mike O. We're just gonna go with Mike O. I know the player. He's a good player, but I can't pronounce his last name. Mike O. You know what I'm talking about. If you're a football fan, you know. Morgan Moses, they brought him in. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be the starting right tackle. They brought in the center from Minnesota. Their offensive line, I don't like. I mean, I like their defense. I feel like their defense is going to be good with Mike Vrabel there. Mike Vrabel always has a good defense, whatever team is on the Titans or now the Patriots. I just don't like this offense, and I don't think they're setting up Drake May really well for the year offensively. He brought in Stephon Diggs, who's coming off a torn ACL, but he's going to be a wide receiver 1 at age 30 or 31. Seriously? You're going to put that on Drake May? I don't like that for the Patriots. I don't think they're going to be good this year, but if they are, I won't be surprised, because if they're going to be good, Drake May is going to be good, and I like Drake May. I think he will be a good quarterback. It's just going to be hard to do, produce on a team like the fucking Patriots. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're entering the bye week. The Giants are 6-7. Now, people are wondering, do we roll with Jackson Dart, or do we keep Russell Wilson in? And you know what? We go with Jackson Dart. Yes, we're 6-7. But I believe the Giants are going to want to see Jackson Dart. Actually, you know what? Fuck that. Never mind. I take back what I said. They're going to keep Russ in. They're going to keep Russ. So week 15 at the Commanders, like I said, we're going to lose the Commanders. We'll lose the Commanders because we beat them week 1. I already said we're not splitting them. Normally we do, but this is a different Commanders team, Got to give them more respect. We own the Commanders, by the way. Look at our team history. Look at our team record against the fucking Commanders. But obviously we explained it. We already faced them, so I already talked a lot about the Commanders, so let's move on. We're 6-8. Then we go up against the Minnesota Vikings, which I am, obviously, a lot relies on J.J. McCarthy. I did not want the Giants to draft J.J. McCarthy, which I'm glad we did. We got more Neighbors. However, I believe J.J. McCarthy went to the best situation he possibly can, and I believe in Kevin O'Connell. J.J. McCarthy is going to be fucking good on Minnesota. He's going to have a great year. Minnesota is going to be great. They would not trust J.J. McCarthy if he wasn't ready to play. They let Sam Darnold go, and he had over 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. He had a Pro Bowl year. They let Sam Darnold go, which was the right decision, by the way. If they let him go for J.J. McCarthy, J.J. is ready, and they trust J.J. What the fuck? Russell Wilson. Don't do that. Ever. So now, we're fucking... God damn it, I already lost track of how many losses. 1, 2, 3... Hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're 6-9 now. We were 6-7. We move on to 6-9. We're out of playoff contention. And then this is where I see the debut with Jackson Dart. Week 17 against the Raiders, where we win. Jackson Dart's going to be riding on the bench most of the season, which I hope so, because I do not want to see him. The earliest I want to see him is probably like week 8, week 9. That's the earliest I want to see him, because he is not ready to play. Let him develop on the bench. Don't rush him in like we did with Daniel Jones, even though Daniel Jones sucked. But we rushed him in. He had 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions his rookie year. Oh, the moon ball. Oh, beautiful. Well, he had 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. 3 of those games, Jones had 4 to 5 touchdown passes. So, I mean, Daniel Jones did not have a good rookie year. I hate when people say he had a good rookie year. He did not. He had 18 fumbles. He had like 30 turnovers to like 25 touchdowns. That's not good. But against the Raiders, it's Pete Carroll's squad now. I like Pete Carroll. He's a great head coach. Like, if you hate Pete Carroll, something's seriously wrong with you. How can you hate Pete Carroll? Their offense, they got Geno Smith. They drafted Ashton Jeanty. They draft Jack Beck. Forgot how to pronounce his name. Beck, whatever the fuck. The TCU wide receiver. Formerly, he went to LSU. You know who I'm talking about. They drafted Ashton Genty. Their offensive line is iffy. Their receivers, Jacoby Myers. I like Jacoby, but besides Jacoby Myers, who can you really trust on that? Tight end, Brock Bowers, monster. I had him in fantasy. Thank God I drafted him. He was fucking amazing. But defensively, I like the defense. You know, I think with this Raiders team, they're going to get the best out of defensive players, but I still think we can get the win here against the Raiders. So we'll be 7-9 going into Week 18 against Dallas, and unfortunately we end the season with a loss. Like I said earlier in the video, Dallas has beaten us so many times. I can't trust us to beat Dallas with Dak Prescott until I see it with my own eyes. So with that loss to the Dallas Cowboys, that would move us to 7-10. Is that a good record? No, but it's improved from a 3-14 record. But does that 7-10 keep Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen's jobs? And that is the question mark. That's what John Mara wants. He wants us to be competitive. We are 6-7 at the bye, and then we lose out, and then we go 7-10. Does John Mara decide, hey, we should move on, or we keep them? That is a 50-50 toss-up. You flip a coin, honestly, because honestly, I wanted Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll gone. But now that they're still here and they drafted a quarterback, they should at least get 2026. And then if that doesn't work out, they should be fired. But 7-10, I have our wins against the Commanders, Chargers, Saints, 49ers, Lions, Patriots, Raiders. 7 wins. Our losses, the Cowboys twice, the Chiefs, the Eagles twice, Broncos, Bears, Packers, Commanders, Vikings. That's 10 losses. 7-10. That's my record prediction. Hopefully, I'm wrong, and hope to God we win and make the playoffs, because I want to see Prime Russ. I want to see this offense explode. I want to see Malik Neighbors get over 1,500 yards. I want to see Darius Slayton go for 1,000 for the first time in his career. I want to see Theo Johnson break out. I want to see the offensive line be consistent. But obviously, we're not going to get all that. This team is still building. We're going in the right direction on the roster-wise, but we still have a lot to prove. And when we're in a tough division against the Cowboys, who we haven't beat with Dak Prescott, and then even if we count the win against Andy Dalton, that was back in COVID, 2020. It's 2025. We have Eagles. We have the Eagles is a tough one. Commanders, Cowboys. Then we played against the NFC North. You know, 3 teams went to the playoffs. The AFC West. 3 teams went to the playoffs. It's a tough schedule. We have the worst schedule, the hardest schedule in the league, which is ridiculous to be. But it is what it is. You got to produce. You got to do something. And I believe Russ will be consistent enough. Will he be prime Russ? No. But this offense is. My expectation for the offense, at least be top 17 or 16. Be an average offense. That's all I'm asking. Yes, that is sad to be asking for an average offense. But when we've been the ranked 32nd or the 31st ranked offense in the league, average looks night and day compared to what we have. Or we have had. And then defense. If this defense is not top 10 with the additions we've added, Shane Bowen should be fired. Even if they keep Brian Daboll as head coach, Shane Bowen should be fired. You add the additions of Chauncey Golston, Abdul Carter, Javon Holland, Paulson Adebo. Like, when you make those additions to the defensive, Darius Alexander, when you make those additions in your secondary, you drafted a Tyler Nubin in the 2nd round last year. You drafted Drew Phillips in the 3rd round last year. You drafted Deontay Banks in the 1st round, which you gotta help him be a better player. You got talent. You invested high picks on the defense. So if this defense isn't top 10, Shane Bowen should be fired. When it comes to the offense, Brian Daboll is not going to be calling plays this year. It will be Mike Kafka. When Mike Kafka called the 2022 offense, it was an average offense. It was a more run-heavy offense, which I expect us to run more than pass. And I hope, we can have a consistent offense, consistent defense. Just keep us in games. I just want to be, in the ball game. If we lose, at least have it be a close football game, which obviously I want to win, but obviously I can't get what I want. So please, God, Giants, Please win something so we don't have to look at mock drafts in the month of October. Please. Anyways, guys, 42 minutes into the video. Sorry it's a pretty long video. It is what it is. I just want to get somewhat of my opinion out there for the Giants record prediction. I didn't even get all my thoughts on it because, you know, I got to talk about 17 games. I can't go into detail about every single one of them. But anyways, guys, that'll be it for this video. Thank you for tuning in. If this makes it to YouTube, which I hope to God it does, like, comment, subscribe. If you want me to do more football content, obviously, I would love to do that. You know, I probably still will do that, but obviously we got to get the channel back up and going. But anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in. See you later.